We cannot let budget woes kill a dream for children. Now, several years ago, the school board voted to close Galaxy Elementary in Boynton. I voted to close Galaxy. When I stood from the table at the end of that meeting, I said, my God, what have I done? I immediately reached out to the community to explain to the board individually and collectively how important a school is to community. The vision was shared, grants were written, people volunteered to be Galaxy All-Stars. And in August of this year, a beautiful state-of-the-art green school, unlike any other, will open. This occurred as a reaction to a school being threatened. Now, we have letters of support from Commissioner Priscilla Taylor, West Palm Beach Mayor Jerry Moyo, and West Palm Beach City Commissioner Sylvia Moffitt, who are unable to attend this meeting. I believe other elected officials from West Palm Beach are scheduled to speak in support. It is my request that this board keep the dream of Roosevelt Leadership Academy for young men alive. Do not close the door on this vision to return the historic Roosevelt High School to the proud academic campus that it once was. The majority of the capital money needed for this year has been spent. If we have not reached the goal of more than 80 students by June 25th, I will close my mouth on the topic for now. However, if we reach the recruitment goal, as I fully expect, allow this school to open at the historic Roosevelt High School in August of 2013. Direct staff to work creatively with community to find ways of improving the facility. Possibly it could be considered an innovative charter school as provided by Senate Bill 7009. We need to brainstorm solutions, not kill the dream. We can work together to save children. That is my plea. Now, I want community to know that there will be a parent information meeting and community update held at the Roosevelt Full Service Center on Thursday, June 13th at 6 p.m. All interested parties are welcome to attend. But I want to state here and now, I have seen a school perish on the action of a board, and I have seen it rise like a phoenix to be an outstanding educational facility. And I would hope this board would share the vision. As we say, children first, share the vision. Just kick this can down the road, let this school open, and then challenge staff and community to work together as we did in Boynton to create an outstanding facility.
Due diligence, let me educate you. Riviera Beach Prep Academy is an alternative school that houses some students that have committed crimes, and most are high school children. Roosevelt Leadership Academy is for middle school boys of all races, Jenny Pryor Brown. Riviera Beach Prep houses children that are unable to return to a traditional school. Roosevelt Leadership Academy is for raising the future leaders of tomorrow with a STEAM curriculum. Let me take you back to your Sesame Street days. One of these things does not belong. Just as the community stopped Glades Central from being constructed next to the Glades Correctional Facility, we will stop this movement. We see you, and your message is very clear, but now see and hear this. We are serious about our children. You do not have the power or the authority to play psychological warfare games with our children. So cast your vote. If it is a war you want, it is a war ye shall get. Whoa.
Mr. Shanon Materio.
Indulging me tonight to have a moment to explain to you where the City Commission has come in the last couple of years. Under the education leadership of Commissioner Mitchell, she has finally convinced this mayor and this commission that education is the most important way for us to move forward, build up our tax base, and make a better city for everyone. And with that said, I did listen a couple of weeks ago to the program that was presented by Commissioner Debra Robinson, and about the leadership school. I believe strongly in single gender school. This particular age level is a sorely unserviced age level in our community, as you know, and I know you do, because you're You're sitting there making very difficult decisions. I don't think that the public always understands how hard it is, what you do. But being here this evening and watching all the presentations and a tremendous amount of money, we don't get to do that in our commission chambers, that was changing hands, made me very proud. It made me proud to see education really moving in the right direction, and it made me knowledgeable that you all are doing a great job. Because if you weren't, we wouldn't have these accolades given to our students at the end of each year. So I'm proud of you, and I hope that you will consider finding funding in your budget. We're getting ready to go into budget as well. That's the hardest part of our job, is trying to be as extremely creative as you possibly can. But we support the students going to Roosevelt. We don't want to stop, we don't want you to stop kicking the can. Dr. Robinson, if there is a bump in the road and this school program has to be started in a different location, we are behind this school eventually landing at Roosevelt. That's its proper landing location. And we will do a partnership with you to help you in anything that we can do as the City Commission to make sure that it's successful. So I applaud your hard work and appreciate you. Thank you very much for your consideration.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Mr. Chair, Board, Superintendent Jen. My name is Leah Gaines. I'm president of the West Palm Beach branch of the NAACP. I want to begin with talking about the schoolhouse to jailhouse issue and your request for the sheriff to bring your proposal for police services here. The NAACP position is opposed to that. You may or may not know the Florida conferences of NAACP, the Advancement Project, and the ACLU have worked very diligent on this issue throughout the years. That is the zero tolerance problem and trying to work with some reforms. We were very successful in getting the Florida State Legislature to enact some reforms. These reforms are just now trickling down and getting into place. It's been a very, very difficult transition. I want to commend the district under the leadership of some of your staff with your positive behavior intervention support systems to really get a handle over classroom management issues. And I really think right now, if you move forward to try to train your staff to be both culturally competent and equity competent, meaning that you really understand what you're doing. The folks that will be working for the sheriff will be accountable to the sheriff. That is a completely different culture from what you do here as an educational institution. And I think that you need to look at not the who now, but the how and the what. There's a lot of things that need to be done before you make a request such as this, or before you even decide if there's a need to make that request. Number one, what is going to be the accountability and the oversight? Is there any community involvement? No. What equity tools do you really have to make sure that this organization knows how to diffuse conflict? Because they're out on the street making arrests and enforcing law. And I know this is a knee-jerk reaction to Sandy Hook and to Columbine, and I would hope that you would make yourself familiar with some reports. Some of them have indicated, one called Controlling Partners When Law Enforcement Meets Discipline in Public Schools. It's a report presented by Harvard University and the Charles Hamilton Houston Institute for Race and Justice. And it looks at these issues all across the nation, and it tells you what the problems have been, and it makes some really great recommendations. As I mentioned about community oversight and training. We're just getting there now as an institution when I say we're the school district in the community. So please don't change now. Don't set us back. On Roosevelt Leadership Academy, I just want to make an appeal to you. Superintendent Gent, we were on a small meeting the other day and you said to the group, trust me, but I'm learning your language and I keep hearing this word fidelity. And so I'd like to say to you, lead us with fidelity. We need leadership with fidelity. And that is your duty, not to us, but your duty to be careful and cautious and nurturing for each and every child in this community. You've heard from everyone. You've got a village here embracing the community. You've got parental engagement. You've got a great research-based program, which is I think is your goal number 1, right up below your mission statement. And so allow this to go forward at Roosevelt Full Service Center. The community is willing to make the sacrifices. Of course, there are challenges, but we're ready to meet those challenges and to win. Thank you.
Thank you, Debra.
Education. I come also as a former 40-plus years employee of this school district. I have spent my entire professional life as an advocate for children. Therefore, it pained me deeply that at your last meeting, you chose not to pursue funding for the Roosevelt Leadership Academy for young men scheduled to open at Roosevelt High School. There is a truism, simply stated. It's not productive to take something of value from people and not give them something in return. I implore you to reconsider your position so that the Roosevelt Leadership Academy for Young Men can move forward as previously planned. You know the statistics relative to the graduation rate. You know who is being disproportionately suspended from school. You know the impact of the dropout rate on the district's rating. You likewise know that this district can't continue to participate in the loss of human potential by not meeting the academic needs of all students. I ask you again to pursue funding for the Roosevelt Leadership Academy for Young Men. You have a history of finding funding sources. I have recently watched you authorize funding to get a legal opinion relative to the status of a former superintendent when the results will have no impact on students. I've watched funding increases as you dealt with the Inspector General's office. I've watched the funding increases in the Public Information Office. The latest published information is that now that the new position has been filled, the old position is going to be revised and kept. We recently had the Chief Academic Officer reassigned and a new one brought in, so funding appears to be available. If you feel responsible for making a positive difference for a sizable segment of the district population, you now have the opportunity to show both the community and the students that you value learning for all students. I thank you in advance for your consideration.